record button. So stand right in front of me and point that camera directly at me, and that way everybody can see how.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
You guys see the stick figure in there?
Yeah, man.
So a couple of things about this particular camera and how it works. I only bring this out when I have 9 people or 10 people. Obviously, we're at 10 tonight. So this is a depth perception camera. So I'm going to point out one thing. Did I have 3 points for my face when you guys saw me on there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
The reason why is that's the depth of my face. I have 2 eyes and a nose. Eyes are behind, nose is in front. That's why there's 3 dots. That's usually the first thing I look for when I'm spot checking that video. And in the event that Christina sees something, and the whole point of this, guys, is that it's not always going to fall just on people. We're hoping it's going to fall on nothing. It will pick up on anything that's in front of something else. So if I were to move out of the spot of where she's at now and Wes moves, she'll probably pick up that sign and telephone pole. It's going to put a stick figure on that and make it look like a ghost dancing around. I want her to ask, hey, can you raise your right arm or move your left leg, and something to that nature, so we can get verification that it's a legitimate spirit moving around in there that we can't physically see. That's the whole point of this camera. Super fun. Same kind of stats, about 4 to 5 pieces per year on that guy that I would put my stamp of approval on. Most of it, I only bring it out because I usually use it for debunking purposes. So if we find something on any of the other cameras, I break out the other 2 because we're going to have one more camera to kind of verify what's going on, and I can usually debunk one or the other based off of the other angles of the camera. So it just depends on what's going on. So you do have a moving red circle on your screen, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit it. We're going to run it. We are going to spread out, kind of see what's going on. So Katie, let's get you unmuted. And let's get to work, everybody. Jim, let's get those headphones.
What's the bottom?
Temperature.
That one.
It's getting a little wonky because those probes need replaced. So if it goes up to 168 like it just did,
Yeah.
obviously we're not burning it, going to hell.
Yeah, I'm not sticking in there with you, bro.
So just walk around.
You got it. I'll be doing round robins. I can give you guys like a minute head start.
Hey,
It's not fun. I'm relying on you with my time.
I just hit 42.5.
Okay.
Well, it goes on and off. So, like I spun around, it was like what it's doing now. It jumped up to 42.
So your baseline is just going to stay at a 25 from here moving forward while we're here. So yours, I still want to get 2.5 or higher out of you. How big you be?
Oh, that's my shadow.
Well, the one that was
Sounded like I just heard my name, even though I know I didn't. But...
Hey, I see a stick figure on you. What'd you get? What'd you get?
I got plantation and double fire.
So with yours, just know that, like I said, it's a lot of debunking. So you're probably picking up on, like, it might pick up on the tree.
Yeah,
and
it's
things
getting
like
like the signs
Right,
too.
right. So again, I use this primarily for debunking purposes. Let's watch the car. Everybody watch that car. It's going to exit where we came in. But with that, when I say we want to try to get some kind of result out of it, like, hey, do something specific, and we get that result, that's usually where I get my stamp of approvals from. Does it happen every night? No. 45 pieces a year.
Yeah.
But if I get a still frame in there, I usually brighten it up so that way I can see what was behind it. So if there is an extra figure in there, I'm like, oh shit, did it pick up on a tree or a sign or whatever? And if there's nothing there, then obviously we might have something, because I do put a filter on it to brighten it so I can see better. So even though you're looking in the dark, I can still brighten it up when I take a screenshot.
Yeah.
And I give you those markers if I find anything. And again, you can always feel free. And by the way, what's relationship here? Like, I lost track of who is who. Who's Brian to you?
That's Brian. Brian's my boyfriend.
Okay, got it. So I just didn't know, like, married, siblings, I don't know.
No.
Gloria didn't say, like, specific. But at the same time, feel free to swap with anybody that you came with. So again, I forgot to encourage you guys to do that. But I'm going to do one more round robin with everybody. If I don't always follow up with the cameras, because it's not always a real-time moment. That one's usually about the review.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see what
Thank you
happens.
so much.
You're welcome.
You got some crazy stuff.
Okay, what is my little box supposed to be telling us?
I don't know. I
It
think it's
changes
supposed to be
numbers.
electricity.
Oh, okay.
But I think he said over 2.5 is weird.
There we go.
What'd you get?
I didn't want to interrupt, but right after a gunshot, I got one fan.
Oh.
Why you guys keep me around?
This is a good arm workout. It's a good arm workout. got trees and signs and
Nice.
people walking by.
Nice. We can switch if you get, like, if you're wanting to do this.
No, I don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, because wait until there is something.
Okay, true.
I'd like to like hear it for a second, but we don't have to do that here. I just want to know what it sounds like. Yeah, but you're doing it now. We could do it when we're like walking or something. When not much is going on.
Good thing I carry a lot of batteries for that cat. It's the only one where we have to keep replacing batteries. Everything else has its own. Wow, you must have really burned it up at the last stop. You're hired back on. That means you're doing a good job. Oh, I hear you. Gotta keep it fun, guys. Gotta keep it fun. All right, back out of the pit crew. Let's get you back up and running. But yeah, we're gonna get some shots going up and down the alleyway. So again, otherwise you're just gonna get everybody's legs. Christina on your end mainly, just because of where you're standing. Have I screwed up a name yet?
You're
think
doing
Nope.
it. I'm impressed.
Well, I wasn't looking for kudos, but I'll take it.
I mean, well, half the time I can't remember my own name, let alone everybody
You're
else's.
recording, so you're good to go. All right, welcome to Philadelphia Alley. So nothing has shown up yet. I do like the 7.3 though. Like that's just a weird thing for you to hear, but the number 7 shows up here often, usually in doubles, only because the person we're about to discuss, that's his birthday. He loves to brag about its double 7s. His birthday's July 7th. So again, it's just common. It's not that I'm not impressed by it. I almost expect it at this point. But Philadelphia Alley used to be called something else, which is why we're here. This is Dueler's Alley. Every ghost tour comes down here. I know it looks like I'm lying right now because we're the only ones here, but I was going to take this out of my route, but this guy follows me around, especially with my old route before I got kicked out of that space, where we used to go. I know I get kicked out of a lot
Why
of
do you
places.
keep getting kicked out of places?
They keep rezoning the city, so every time like I come up with this great story, like 6 months later they're like, nope, you can't go over there anymore. So I'm like, I gotta come up with this great stuff, and then I can't do it. But anyway, so this guy just used to follow me literally from here all the way to that location because we would always be a place near Raise in Motion for him. So the last location of my old route, we would be near his house. So take that for what it is. So Philadelphia Alley is kind of a crazy spot. We're gonna get all kinds of stuff that's here. So Brian, I kind of already know about your history of last time you were here, so we'll kind of see what happens this time. So again, you've probably heard the story already. We're just gonna talk about it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So I'm gonna give you those extra details and kind of show you how this goes. Oh, I wanted to do something new for Kate. So because you're on mute, I want you to go ahead and slide that spirit box into your purse or your pocket right now. Just don't take it home. I'll send you a bill if you do. But we're going to give you something new to play with. Oh, I can't do it because I don't have the extra headphones because we're using 10 people. My bad. My apologies. We were going to use a crazy voice recorder. Regardless, I think we're going to use it anyway, even without the headphones, at least so we can get the recording. This thing can hear a frog fart from a mile away. It's pretty crazy. And because it is so quiet down here tonight, I wasn't going to bring it out unless it was quiet, but I forgot that with 10 people, Jim takes an extra set of headphones that I do carry. So with this, you're just going to point it in different directions because the microphone's here and literally it's directional. So it's going to pick up everything, and I will listen to this full recording when I get back to the office. Normally I have somebody with a set of headphones so you can get the clarity of it in real time. But without those headphones, we're just going to use it in this manner here so that way we can at least get the recording. So again, wherever you point that, it's a little bit of weight to it. So we'll see how that actually works out. This is what we call a live EVP session. You guys will see why we're using that once I get into this. So let's talk about this duel. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If and while we're here, one of the spirit boxes comes up with the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of his name. Anyway, Doc moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor fellow. So he moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his practice here, make his own money. Well, on his way into town, he had a coachman, and the coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. Sorry, sometimes I get a lot of teenagers and I have to like really dummy things down because they don't understand a term. So if I'm over explaining things, just let me know. And it is a good reference. But anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer. His name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from, Rhode Island. We used to get the letters RI all the time on regular spirit boxes, like somebody spelling something out. So I bought another device that only gives us letters, like basically a digital Ouija board. We've had the letters RI show up only on Ralph's name, not the Rhode Island. However, that device is now broken because somebody dropped it, waiting on the insurance. So, yeah, very expensive equipment you guys are holding. It's not like I can just drop a bucket and say, hey, I got it overnighted. Moving on. So Ralph tells the doctor, hey man, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. I know what he does. I got some friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making, proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. She got wind of this and wrote to him saying she was moving down so they could be married here. Well, Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Kind of a cliche, right? Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. However, with that recorder that I handed over to Katie, I can't tell you how many whistles we've actually caught with that, and there's more to it. I will get to it at the end of it. So why are we in this dueler's alley talking about a happy doctor that's about to be married? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He got better seats. So one night they go see Richard III and they're walking home and they're discussing the new actress they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly between the two of them, and they went their separate ways. But the next day, Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper, and he placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of shit. Like really bad Instagram post, right? Against your friends. Sorry, another teenage reference. Moving on. So Doc saw the ad in the paper, and he rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley, somebody's gonna die. So they came down here, and they took their 10 paces away from each other and turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. That's often what happened at a duel back then, by the way. But I also like to point out that this whole argument started over an accident. I like to just point out how dumb shit was in the 1700s. Like, it really got nasty. But anyway, Ralph still had his one bullet in the middle of this duel, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Yeah, kind of nasty. Ralph proved his point. He didn't want to kill his friend either, but he's still pissed and not willing to forgive. Doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, and he died 10 days later, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement that I just said. First off, that date was November 2nd of 1786. Gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what they are now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. Obviously, he failed because he died. So, if you come down here on a random Saturday afternoon in the middle of the summer, it always sounds like this. It's always this quiet unless there's other tours down here doing their normal tours. So that's why we're using the crazy voice recorder. We're probably picking up on whatever that screaming and yelling is over there. And it'll probably come through very clear, even though she has that pointed in the opposite direction. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that actually works out. I don't think we've ever done this without headphones before. Again, all the ghost tours will tell you to listen for whistles while you're here. We have 3 cameras running, plus my voice recorder and our Zoom recorder. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to show up on one of those, what do we got, 5 devices? So take that for what it is. However, when I'm spot checking Stephanie's recording, I cannot tell you how many times I come across the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial immediately after. It happens all the time. When I spot check your guys' work, by the way, I'm not looking at it minute by minute searching for things. I listen or watch minute 1, minute 5, minute 10, 15. You see the increments. That way I'm not biased towards looking for something specific. I see what I got, and then I look at the timestamp to see where we were. And again, I don't time this, I just do a general gist. So it gets very interesting. Have we had any readings, by the way, out of the two of you above 8?
No,
nothing else. Okay.
Been pretty much 2.2.
So just remember that we'll get some of these things from the Whistling Doctor over at the cemetery as well. But let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. This is the fun part of the story. You ready for this, Jim? So
I can't wait.
Sorry, I had to wait for a chuckle in there somewhere. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. And the reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So imagine cows, goats, and chickens are here. I'm telling you this because they started building this alley down at the end. Those bricks down there are older than the ones you're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child, face up, in one of those bricks, about 14 bricks in to the left. And it's very visible. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not there. He's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. He's hanging out with his mom somewhere, right? So I took my group down there on November 26th of 2020, and they all stopped and huddled around the brick, just the same way we're all huddled right here. And I'm trying to shoo them along. I know nothing's going to happen. We're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful. I didn't know we were out of bounds for tours. I was still new at this. So my daughter was on the tour that night. I would like to point that out because she was about 14 years old, and the new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off at me. And she thought it was hysterical. Like, she was laughing her ass off. Her dad's getting yelled at right in front of her. She was all about it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because I worked in upper management for Walmart. Before I started doing this, you guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. Like, I don't do holidays anymore. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that brought me into tourism. I told him what happened. He laughed at me too, and he said, "You're not allowed to go down that far. It's residential," and he hung up the phone, which means I'm on my own. I told my group that night, it's Black Friday, I'm sold out again. I tell them I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but we've been kicked out of there too. And by the way, if I tell you we're going to be discussing pirates in Charleston, who do you think we're going to be talking about? Who's the first pirate that comes to mind? And don't tell me Jack Sparrow. Blackbeard. Blackbeard, thank you. Good job, Wes. Gold star. Sorry, I love that gold star. Who said that originally? Me. Good job. You got that stuck in my head for future tours. Anyway, so I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. I just told them we'll see what happens with the pirates over there. Somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box before we left. I didn't tell them we were going to be looking into Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. I took them around the corner. I told them what I did know about pirates in Charleston. Somebody else heard the number 300 coming out of theirs. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote it down, researched it. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. The exact 300-year anniversary of her piracy. Now, this is the reaction I normally get. Oh, wow, that's great, super awesome. I was pissed off. Let me explain. Master's degree in creative writing, several bachelor degrees in other levels of writing as well. Whenever I research anything, especially something for the paranormal, like what I do out here for you guys, I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. Pirate lore was written 100 years after Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. That's a problem. That's a lot of misconstrued information. So whenever you guys found something that could have been a piratey term, I had to watch 4 documentaries, play 3 video games, and read 10 textbooks just to try to verify one piece of evidence. However, I came up with this great story based off of how many things were most common, and that used to be my grand finale, was the big pirate story. Everybody loved it, but we're not allowed over there anymore. So what I did was I started telling the story all the other ghost tours tell, and I don't like that story because it does have a curse to it. So one night I was going through the evidence of all of the data, and I found something else. So we're going to be doing that something else. So when we get up and around the corner, I'm going to add the spotlight to Wes's camera. We're going to take a look at his other light. Looks like you're down to 2 bars. We'll get you a brand new one. And I'll kind of explain what the story is. It's very quick, short, and simple because it's brand new for me. Whenever I get a new story, I experiment with it for about 6 months. If we get more and more and more out of it, I continue with it, like stuff like this one, or the Pinckney Mansion. If not, it goes away the following year, and I bring in a new one. It happens all the time. I change this up all the time. I was telling Mike on the way here, I have guests that are local that take this 4 or 5 times a year because I'm constantly changing either the equipment, the location, or some of the things that we're doing. I'm always experimenting. So, Jim, how are we doing on that thing? I see kind of like a crazy readout on your 2 meter.
It's loud, the directional.
Very directional?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything weird going on with their devices? Anybody listening in? I think Stephanie's the only one listening at this point. Did you get anything while you've been here?
No.
Okay. Any words? Spirits again?
Twice more. Sorry, it's the same word. Sorry.
That's funny.
Alignment,
I have a person that's really just the lights.
I'm gonna
Raise
look in
your
there.
arm.
Could be something.
Oh.
Anything weird going on, Christina?
I don't know. It looked like a person, but it's also where the lights are.
There's also a lot of foliage in there.
Yeah.
So, with this one, I
It
usually
was
want
fun
somebody
for
like
a
walking
second.
directly down the center, like a, kind of very
Yeah.
proud whistling doctor kind of guy. Like that's what we caught here before. And somebody like doing a peeker, so they're like just kind of poking their head out every once in a while. Like we have some things from that on that camera here too.
I'll look out for a proud whistling doctor.
Okay. Anything else crazy going on before we leave this space?
I jumped to 4.2 and then went back down to 2.1.
I'll take a 4.2. That's exciting. Again, anything above 2. Or that. Well, the 4.2 could be from the lights. I'm sorry. We are in the alley.
But that was the first time it had done
Sorry, I
it.
forgot where I was at for a second. Nothing else crazy going on? All right. Well, we're gonna go up and around the corners, cameras. I would say go ahead and stop until we get to that next location. He's not very much guy. Yeah, you guys can put those cameras right against the gate. Just don't drop the super fast on the floor. I have to go back tomorrow morning and go retrieve it.
I'll climb the fence.
Brian, you got anything?
Nothing really.
I was late coming to the meeting. Sally, Bunny,
Yeah, just like 103.5 The Weasel. Like it was a radio station. But I thought it was funny.
6. Stephanie, you got anything?
You're in there for a second. I heard walking and I didn't know. That was the fuzz. That was done. And then Anne.
It could also go Morgan from the captain. It was a person.
Yeah.
Right? Spelled it out. How's the camera work going, guys? Anything
It's
weird
okay.
going on? Mike, any words?
Either.
Either?
Either.
So I had a bunch of 5s. The highest I got here is a 7.6. And that one over there, it's just not jumping at all. I mean, I had a 0.1. And that was, I had a 7.6 and a bunch of 5s. And back to like a 1. I mean, it's just jumping. Yeah, 7 right here. Shoot down 4.9. Subject board 5.
That's what we were trying to figure out, like why right here only? Like there's nothing here to make it go off. So who is this person? Like I need to come here during the daytime and do a little bit more
72, 24.
Good bet. Nothing coming through.
You want to trade?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but that one I went over a couple times. That's one I got 0.1.
Yeah, that's natural. The growth gets off up to 1.1. So that's why we go straight to a 2.5.
Let's see if anything's
Yeah,
over
I don't know
here.
why though. That's the thing. Is like I wanted to test it on the second night. Because again, I think I come and tested this before and we had like those little 0.5s and 0.6s, which doesn't mean anything. But hitting 24s, yeah, 2 nights in a row, why?
Have you gotten?
Just had a 24.
Oh, really? Wow.
So test yours on here. Just throw your arm in between the bars and see what you get. Picking up on a lot of headstones in there, huh?
I don't know. Just that.
Yeah. I don't think it's anybody just sitting there.
I don't think so either.
Functioning
Yeah,
properly.
8.3 right now.
Well, now
I came
Your
here.
arm is tired.
that's right.
Yeah.
You want me to take the
Don't
shift?
look. Don't look.
No, it's okay.
Is it one of the lights in the background?
Do you mind if I listen? Do you mind if I listen?
Oh, sure. Here.
Try to put an outline on it to help us define it because it only sees things in 2D. So that's why I put those lines. Well, that little piece right here on it's like wow. Yeah. Yeah. So if it goes a little funky, I gotta put it in insurance.
Hear anything?
Anybody got anything for me? Anything goofy going on? That's weird because between your device and Jim's, Jim hasn't heard anything. Like he said it's dead quiet.
You want to hold mine?
Oh, no, it's okay.
How's it going on that? Anything weird?
Something about oral medications?
Oral medications?
It's funny though, isn't it? You want to trade?
And I got Don't You Forget About Me.
Mm.
Oh, and 98. I heard 98 earlier too.
Fire was 1796, not 98. Close but no cigar. Alright, I think it's probably time to call it on this one. So we're gonna regroup. We're gonna walk past this other flower down here.
I heard respectful and then I'll talk to you.
Grab that real quick.
Respectful and I'll talk to you. You should tell him.
I feel like that wasn't that like.
It's not like doesn't lead you anywhere, but it's
So we're
funny.
going to slide past this little tour group. We're going to go back to where we kind of started this whole story. And I have to explain what we're doing at the next one. You're going to see that ambient, and I put that in there on purpose so you don't fall asleep. You're not going to look for images in it. You'll see images that don't show up. And your focus is right here. This is great. All right. Henry? Which apple? Which? Henry, you're not going to apple. Not going to scare us away, Henry. Not going to try to give us like all of the vampires and all of the spooky stuff that you tried to before. Just trying to be here respectful. Nice big group for you to talk to. Some of these folks know your history, some don't.
top.
There we go. Henry, are you watching from the top of the building? Yes, no question.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. Thank you.
Use those frequencies. Use the words we're looking for. So we can have a conversation. Henry? Let's talk about your work, Henry. Why are we here? What's
Blasting your rock and roll.
Gloria, that's been your phrase all night. Rock and roll.
It's been-
Henry? Why are we here? What's inside the building? Can you show us pictures on the floor? Children. Henry, you want to change the topic to your child? If not, tell us what's inside the building.
I'm a Martian.
Henry, Alan, these jokes. Try to be serious. Show you some respect. Talk to us about your work. What did you do for a living? What's inside the building? Why are we at the library? I told you we'd be here instead of the park. Henry. Oh, decent. Try to- Give us an image so we can see what portrait you're talking about. Give us an image through the blue box.
Yeah.
How's that change? It's like it knows I'm asking. Henry.
All things.
Henry.
With you.
We're asking about the door work, not about the. We share the same trait. Wait, we're getting this. Henry.
5-foot army.
Send a message.
Like the army piece? Henry, do you want to talk about the war you served in?
Tools.
Henry, I'm really waiting on an image. I don't want Katie to fall asleep. We are running out of time. We're about halfway through, Henry.
Tonight.
We're only here.
Oh, lights. It's like a stage of some sort.
I want to get away.
Wall of some sort.
Okay. Can you tell what time period it's from?
It almost looks Roman.
Rome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like there's a yellow chair to the left.
Henry, you gave us an image last night about some of your
Too
work.
sweet.
Can you give us something else relevant to that image? It's pretty red. Henry, you haven't said anything to Stephanie in a minute. Can you tell us why we're here? I'm trying to get something out of you that's going to be a direct answer. Mike, any words?
Consumer access.
Kids wouldn't have been a term.
I see a horse. It looks like a cowboy. 1, 2 horses, 3 horses. People are riding them with a fence in the background.
Time period?
I'm gonna say probably
4 or 5.
hard to say because I cannot make out the clothing that they're wearing. The girl almost looks like a feather sticking off the top of her head. Almost. Looks like cowboys, really.
Henry, we're really running out of time here. I appreciate the images until I see them, but I'd really like some words at this point. Tell us where we are. Why are we here?
I'm dreaming.
What are you dreaming about, Henry? Tell us about your work. Is that how you came up with your poetry lines? Daydreams about the war? I really thought these two were going to be like talking in my ear.
I actually have a Henry Tim book that was my father's.
Oh, really? Was it original? Most of his work is published in the 1960s and 70s. Henry, we're running out of time.
From California?
We're not from California. Henry, one
In
last
heaven?
Let's ask a quick question about your wife. Maybe you could tell us where you met her. Down to about a minute and a half, Henry. You haven't given us anything besides a bunch of very confusing images.
Being honest.
Henry, can you tell us about your wife? Where'd you meet her? Where'd you meet Katie?
Is where it all started.
Yeah, where? He was her school teacher for everybody to hear. Yeah, never appreciated that. Henry, where did you meet Katie? Where it all started is not specific enough, Henry. Be specific.
She disappeared quicker.
It was a great on